Hello everybody, today we are back and I'm going to be doing a bear grinding video. So today I'm going to be going over what I do to bear grind to get about 30 to 40 and sometimes even 50 kills an hour. So basically the loadout that I use for anybody wanting is just the 300 Magnum. The 338 bolt action does work. I just recommend having more than one shot. And then I use the 22 pistol so that way I can be able to carry tents and tripods as well. So that's what I use for my loadout. And then the time that I almost always set it to is 23:24. Now, that's just what I use. But I set it so late into their drink time, so that way the bears are almost already there. And then I instantly will go back to main menu after setting the time back to get the bears kind of reset and into their zones before I continue the next rotation. And if you don't claim a bear or something, it will then respawn when you do go back to the main menu and back in. But what I like to do is herd management for bears. I might be trying it though, because I have seen that it is pretty good. But as you can see, after doing that, we got a mythical here and a level 4. Now, I normally do have 2 females here, but it looks like the other one isn't. But this lake, for me on my map, is really, really good. I used to have about 8 male bears. Now I have about 4 to 5. But I always start my rotation here, move over to this lake over here, grinding this zone specifically only. This lake, and then this lake over here. I have male bears that go between all 4 of these zones. So I just use this setup to get to the most possible efficiently. I grind up here. I recommend placing a tent here. It does save a lot of time than running from this outpost. But if you do want to save a tent, you could definitely run from there. And then this one over here, I have the same thing up on the mountain. This one is very inconsistent for me, but it might be very good for you. And then up in here is the same kind of setup. And I can have a bear at either of these lakes. Now, like I said, I don't use herd management for hunting, or actually grinding bear at that. And the reason I don't use herd management is because there isn't, I feel like, enough bear to need to use bigger spawns. Because I feel like species like red deer or whitetail, there's so many on the map that many low levels will actually help your spawns. There's maybe only, I'd say probably max 50 male bears on your map, and I feel like that is a bit of a stretch. And it actually looks like I have no other bear here right now, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I use a lake like this to grind a lot of kills at once. So I'll start here and end here. So that way I'm getting the early bears and the late bears to add kills onto my grind. And as you can see, they do drop pretty quickly to a single lung liver stomach shot, which is actually pretty good. And as you saw when I shot that level 8 and the level 4 kind of stood there, they are currently kind of bugged in a way where they'll just stand there for a little bit. Or if they stand up, they will spook very quickly. And it actually looks like he is floating. Now, I don't claim the floating bears because I feel like it is a waste of time. But now I'm going to move over to this spot and see if I have a bear here this run. So as you can see, I did get a new zone by marking that bear, and there is actually no herd zones for bear. So every single zone will, like the need zone indicator will say 1. Now, I feel that there are herd zones for bears that are just kind of not said in a way. Because there are definitely bears that work just like herd zones, like this one. But this one is actually by itself. And I can get up to 2 bears at this lake. But it's not every single time that I'm getting 2, or even any. But also another thing to help increase efficiency is finding consistent zones. So like if I go to this lake for example, I have very inconsistent bears. Like I'll shoot 3 bears, and then I'll go 3 or 4 rotations coming back before I'll see one respawn get into its zone. And lakes like this, the respawns are so consistent. Same with this one over here. Now, I feel like that is one of the best ways to get as many bears per hour as you can, along with also placing claim tents down, which is basically if I shoot from right here with my tripod, I have a tent right here to fast travel to and claim the bears, because that can be so much more efficient than actually having to run and claim them. And I've actually never seen that happen before, but we do have some bears from the other zone heading over. Now, the way that I recommend for finding consistent zones is basically go around your whole map, set up tents at like every single zone, and then just start shooting. And as you can see right here, I have no bears, but these two zones kind of work together in a way. So I'll fast travel over here, and sometimes there will be more bears where I was standing. But sometimes there will be no bear, because they are pretty consistent, but not, 100% like a red deer or something. But after you hunt your zones, you can tell which zones are consistent. It's not very difficult to tell at all. I could tell within the first couple of rotations which zones were going to be my consistent ones, because you don't want to be grinding inconsistent zones. Now, I do think that you could do them if you need to. Like if you don't have enough to fill your run. But you're also going to want to continuously get enough bears down for there to be enough in the respawn pool to keep pushing out respawns. Because at some point you will, if you're shooting like 2 or 3 bear per run, and you go back to the main menu, there's not going to be enough things to push the respawns out. They could still respawn, they probably will, but it might be slower. And that one was actually a hard shot. I don't know why it won't show the bullet path. That's kind of a bug right now. But I'm not going to be doing herd management on this grind like I said, but there are definitely things to use for herd management. Like over here and see if I get any more bears that already weren't there the first time to show up. But herd management for bears is very weird, because there's multiple ways to do herd management for the bears. Now, I buy premiums back when we used to have the Mule Deer Outpost and Sun Sisters hotspot. Or actually not Sun Sisters, this one up here. 2 fawns. Used to herd manage down to level 3s for bear. And he is one of the best grinders, actually in the community. And as you can see, coming back a second time, got that second bear there that we didn't see earlier. But I don't know that right now, herd managing down to level 3 is the best option. Animals like red deer that do go to 9 legendary still herd manage down to 4s, usually. Or you could do sort of a, less of a herd management approach, but still trying to get bigger spawns, where doing level 5s. Or like that min or lower weight estimate to the level 5s is something that you could do. So you're basically shooting big 5s and up. But I don't think that herd management is very essential for this. I can get about a diamond or at least a 9 legendary every maybe 75 to 100 kills. So I don't have like any issues with it. But the only thing is, if you don't have the, I believe it's the high-tech hunting pack, I think, for the night vision binoculars, I do not recommend grinding bear at all. It's going to be very difficult. Obviously, it is still doable. Like, as you can see, when you use, like, a scope, you can see, but not nearly as well as when you have the night vision binoculars. But I think that is what, the main thing is you're going to want to be finding consistent zones and grinding them. And herd management can be done, but it's not very essential at all. Now, I haven't got a great one at about 1,200 kills so far, so I don't necessarily know, but normally you don't get great ones that quick anyway. But I think that's going to do it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.